has to dominate Terence Crawford for 12 rounds in the 154 rematch. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, we are hopefully just a few months away from the Terence Bud Crawford and Earl the True Spence Jr. rematch. It won't be for any titles this time. It'll just be pride on the line. And my question is, does Errol Spence have to dominate Terence Crawford for 12 rounds straight to redeem himself? Does he need a knockout? Or can he just win a close boxing match and still get all his credibility back? I just wanted to give my 447 nickels on that and break it down for anybody listening.
People are asking me about what I thought about Errol Spence Jr.'s first appearance in public in Dallas. And the first thing that I thought about it was what Abel Sanchez has also recently said about the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford fight. He specifically said in the weigh-in that Errol Spence Jr. looked like, not at the weigh-in, but in the, I think maybe the press conference or the workout before, that Errol Spence looked like a skeleton, looked like he had really drained a lot of weight. I will make an observation about how Errol Spence Jr. looked. And he looked big, and he looked fat. He had some more water weight on him. His face was a little bit more full. Man, he looked a lot bigger than he did in that fight ahead of time. Judging what he says about walking around at 170 pounds, he doesn't have a lot of fat on him. And by that, I mean the type of weight, like say that I have on me, where if I get rid of 22 pounds, 30 pounds, I'm all the better for it. But when you are, not necessarily a person that's fat, that type of weight coming off you can cause real problems.
All right, y'all. So, does Errol Spence Jr. actually have to dominate Terence Bud Crawford for 12 straight rounds to redeem himself from the 9th round TKO he took in the undisputed fight? If you ask me, I would say it depends. It depends on the style of fight Errol Spence brings. I think if Errol Spence comes into that fight and he looks good for the first 2 rounds, like he can come in and he can land some shots, might back Terence Crawford up a little bit, might keep Crawford on his toes. As long as Crawford doesn't look as dominant as he looked in the second round of the first fight, I think a lot of nerves will be calm in the second fight.
Don't push me, now's not the time.
As long as he can look good in the second and the third round, I think a lot of people will back off of their tearing down of Errol Spence that's been going on for the last few weeks.
I'll talk about your family. Your family was the ugliest family in Detroit. Then y'all moved to St. Louis and took over the championship.
And I think he'll convince a lot of people that he possibly could win the fight, as long as he's in it for the first 3 to 4 rounds. Now, if he comes out, he looks flat. Once again, Terence Crawford is just looking dominant in the second round, I think we got a problem on our hands.
Let me tell you something. If you ain't out of here by the time I count to 3, I'm going to take this crutch and wrap around your head so many times you think you're wearing a wooden turban.
Even if he wins a close 12-round decision, I think people will still ride him. They won't give him his full props because of how Terence Crawford stopped him. Because Terence Crawford did get the TKO, he did in the fight in the 9th round. I think Errol Spence has to do something, not similar. He doesn't have to stop, I don't think, Terence Crawford. I think at the least, he's going to have to dominate him for 12 rounds. He's got to win all 12 rounds if it comes down to a decision. Now, if he can pull off a knockout, or if he can pull off a stoppage like the Ugas fight, I think all bets are off. He's pretty much silenced all of his critics.
Bunch of jive niggas.
But if he goes in there and just wins a close decision, like maybe wins by a half a point or a split decision, something of that nature, I think then you got to start talking about the trilogy. I think a lot of people will be talking about the trilogy, and You know, I still don't think that the Bud fans are going to give him his full credit if he only wins like a split decision or maybe like by a point or something like that, a real close fight, but he wins by a point. The Bud fans, I think, are still going to chew him up for taking the TKO loss until the trilogy happens. It's always going to be that Terence Crawford dominated Errol Spence, and Errol Spence only won a close decision or a close, split decision or something of that nature.
All right, let's go. The price is wrong, bitch.
So I think either Errol Spence has to come in, he has to dominate Bud for 12 rounds, or he's going to have to score some type of knockout. Whether that knockout comes early, mid-fight, or in the later rounds, he's going to have to put together some type of masterful performance if he wants to get Bud fans to back off of their hatred for him. And I think even if he went in there and dominated Terence Crawford for 12 rounds or scored a knockout or a Ugas-style stoppage, I don't think the Bud fans are going to leave him alone until the trilogy. I think all of this, if Errol Spence wins, even by a point, even by knockout, even by close decision, the whole story is going to have to be told in the trilogy. And, it might be a situation where both of those guys end up retiring off each other. If Errol Spence can go in there and beat him up and dominate him like he did Ugas in the second fight, and then they have a trilogy and it's just an all-out war, that might be both of those guys' last fight. We never know. Both of those guys might decide that they don't need any more punishment after that. Plus, they would have both cleared, if I'm not mistaken, I think they both got paid somewhere around $20 million for the first fight. They're supposed to both get paid around the same amount for the second fight contractually, and there's no telling what the trilogy could make them. So this could be a cash-out situation for both these guys. We all know Terence Crawford ain't fighting no Canelo. He might fight Charlo, but that's a high doubt in my mind as well. But it's possible if he goes in there and dominates Errol Spence one more time.
My best thinking at the time, and you just go crazy. That's just my first thought. Who the hell am I? Something happened that day. I don't know what happened that day. I had to get out of here. I couldn't handle it at all. You have to go. You understand, right?
Hey, y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. That like button, fun man, share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, feature a product or your channel on my channel, feel free to hit my Gmail because it is a flock of cards at gmail.com. And we are...
You want beef? Prepare for the devil. Put a dot right on your eyebrow like Ern Neville. It's a pern, I'm a rebel. Knock you off, break bread with your parents to settle. Out of court, every forget me all out of sorts. Up north, they wetting up them new ports. But down here, they putting syrup on blacks. That city county merger got the sheriff on your back, along with the LPD. Still see me sitting low, getting blowed in the LTD. With a thick chick looking like Diamond's twin. With the ginger ale mixed with the lime and gin. See, I'm pepper with the words. I'm sick when I'm sober, even better off the herb. You get wet up on the curb if that's what you deserve. From the ghetto to the birds, what real niggas prefer. Young Keys, and I'm on the go. Blowing them trees when I'm on the road. DJ spin it and they on the flow. But it seems these motherfuckers still don't know about that nigga named Keys coming off the block. Still spitting hot flows off the top. Got the girls in the telly getting off the chain. The nigga named Lewis Keys finna change the game. Revolutionary, who can carry various styles into the booth. Put it down for you, so turn it up loud when you play me, G. When you see the cops press ATT, and you may see keys where the ladies be. Handlebars tough like a ATV. Four-wheeler, gold-wheeler, cold spitter for show. By now, y'all niggas should know about that nigga named Keys coming off the block. Spitting them flows straight off the top. And got them girls in the telly getting off the chain. A nigga named Lewis Keys finna change the game. Bitch! and I'm on the go. Blowing them trees when I'm on the road. DJ spin it and they on the flow, but it seems these motherfuckers still don't know about that nigga named Keys coming off the block. Still spitting hot flows off the top. Got some girls in the telly getting off the chain. Name Lewis Keys finna change the game.